yesterday we were talking, and he said, "Look, I always desired to move up in my career, and I'd be in the rooms, and I wouldn't speak up, I wouldn't say anything, and then occasionally I was sitting and I was talking to the VP of strategy and said I wanted to get elevated to this role, and she said, 'You're gonna have to be able to answer the question of where you wanna be in 3 years or where you're gonna be in 5 years.'" He says, "And so I wrote it down."
Mm.
Mm.
My advice would be for someone who wants to move to the next level, write your vision about the next level down. You're gonna need to know what it
Mm.
is you wanna do. You're gonna have to be able to, with clarity,
Mhm.
say what you want to do and what you wanna be and what that next level is. So start working on it.
Awesome.
Write it down.
Mm.
So thank you for giving back to me what I gave to you, because
Oh,
that's how I
yeah.
taught many lessons in the environments and tables that I sat at. Just simply by saying it the way it is and trying to help people get it
Yes.
and
That's
hear
good.
it, just like you just explained to me that you heard what I was saying. Thank you for that.
Oh, that's my pleasure. My pleasure. My,
Thank
my,
you.
my pleasure. So Ralph, you got anything on that? I don't know. I know you know, Ralph asked those. We call them the Jedi questions.
No, no, I'm just enjoying the conversation. I'm just enjoying the conversation.
So
Awesome.
Brenda, we've enjoyed this, and we're coming to a close. Let's just a few more questions. So,
Yes.
if you could pass on one piece of wisdom to emerging leaders, what would it be?
It would be to be humble. What I learned that in humility, you can help so many people. Because if you're humble, you do things like you give your team credit for the work that they do
Mhm.
and you let them
Mm,
shine, because when they shine, everybody shines. You
mm,
treat people fairly. You sponsor people. I mean, all these things that are built up into, like, how I was blessed to lead was built in humility first.
Mhm.
Me humbling myself as a leader, being blessed to be in a position to bring forward other folks and to help and advocate for other folks. I would say be humble. Humility is not easy sometimes because you're confronted with all kinds of arrogance and all of that,
Mhm.
but be humble, be consistent, and be trusted. Let me be trustworthy, because I'm going to tell you something. Being trustworthy is not easy in these
mm.
environments. But the unicorn that we talked about is the person who comes across as trustworthy and consistent. I'm telling you. So I would advise people to do that. Try that.
S-
And then let the Lord help you.
That's
Sure, sure.
good.
So what I hear in that, and we understand, right? Everything in life is a negotiation. And let's
That's
gonna
right.
just dig in a little bit.
Mhm.
How did you go about negotiating those partnerships?
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes you gotta be willing to concede certain things, or
Yes.
you gotta.
Mhm.
So how to just at a high level, what was your philosophy in those rooms, right? Because there's always one of the things we say, there's an exchange of value, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
how did you go about establishing that?
I tried to listen to people.
Mhm.
Mm,
That's the first thing. Try to listen to people. Try to hear what they're saying. You know how you've been repeating back to me what you heard, both of you, what you heard me say? When I listen to people, I practice that too, repeating back to them what I heard them say, so that they
mm,
knew that I listened to them, that I heard them. I mean, you just didn't say words that came in this ear and went out the other ear. I heard what you said. And even if your opinion differs from me, I heard what you said. So let's unpack the perspectives and views and get to maybe a place where we can agree on
Mhm.
some things.
Mhm.
And that builds trust. And
Mhm.
so my navigation was, and I hate to sound like a drum that keeps beating, but my navigation was consistency. I
Mhm.
consistently listened. I consistently like spoke back what I heard. I consistently okay, balance. Okay, I get your views. Okay, so
Mhm.
let's talk about them. Let's find a place. At least we're in your views and in my views. We can come to a place of agreement.
Mhm.
To where we really want to get to. And
Mhm.
it's those kind of things that those tools. When I started my career when I first became a manager in my career a long time ago, somebody told me to read this book, God is CEO, Jesus is leader, something like that. And it,
Mhm,
and,
I
and
remember
it
that.
didn't matter whether you were religious or not. Those are basic principles on dealing with people and dealing with folks in relationships. I've told every leader to read that book since then
Mm.
because they're basic principles of leadership. They're basic principles of relationship. And so for me, I navigate through relationship.
Mhm.
I don't have to be best friends with anybody or they don't have to be my closest colleague,
Mhm.
but we have a relationship.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mm.
Mhm.
let's balance where we're trying to get through that relationship. And
Mhm.
it's a respectful relationship. I respect you, you respect me.
Mhm.
I don't intend harm. I'm
Mhm.
going to assume you don't. I'm going to assume the
Mhm.
best.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
always going to assume the best.
Mhm.
And we're going to get to a place where we can get to where we both need to go. That's how I balance and navigated those things. Through
Oh,
relationship, through respect, through consistency, through being trustworthy, through being
mhm.
honest.
Mhm.
That's how you do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
To me, that's how you do it. And I have strong relationships with colleagues. Some of them I didn't trust, but they could
Mhm.
trust me.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
That's right there. That's
Mm.
tweetable right there. I didn't
Absolutely.
trust them, but they can trust me.
Right?
Brenda, I just wanna highlight something you said I think is so powerful for everybody who's listening. You talked about in conflict management finding a common place of
Yes.
agreement. Can
Yeah.
you talk about how powerful that is when you're in conflict and how that can lead to a positive outcome?
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you do that, you acknowledge, first of all, you give the person like the benefit of them and their disposition. Look, you can have your disposition.
Mhm.
I am the discussion is not about an individual's like basic premise for which it's not about that. It's about getting to an end result. And so getting to a common ground is to get us there,
Mhm.
not to change your belief system. I'm not trying
Mm.
to change your belief system.
Mm.
Now, for some people, I wish your belief system would change, but if I'm not going to change it, I'm smart enough to realize your belief system isn't going to change. So I'm not going to try to change your belief system. But there's aspects even in your system that are part of your humanness. And
Mm.
let's get there to
Mm.
get to the common ground, to get to where we
Mm.
need to get to get the outcome we're trying to get. That's powerful.
Whew, man, I hope people really catch that. Oh my God.
It's
That
so
is so
powerful.
powerful. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
And it's powerful in execution. I
Mhm.
kid you not. If it's clear at that table that the desire is to get to a common ground, people will
Mhm.
go with you.
Mm.
Mm.
They will
Mm.
go with you
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
That's so important.
regardless
So
of where.
important.
Yeah, exactly. They'll go with you.
Mm. Mm.
So
Oof.
so so what I hear, they don't wanna be pushed or pulled.
They want to be led.
They don't want to be pushed to pull. They want to be respected and regarded.
Mhm.
That's what I want to.
Yes.
But we got to get
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
And where in your
Mm.
views allows you to get there, and
So
where in my views allows us to get there.
so
Mm.
so
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 good.
Ralph, do you want? Because I got a question off of that right there. Do you got something you wanna dig into more on that?
No, no, no. I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. So now, and we haven't dealt with this quite, and I guess so directly, getting to the goal, right? Getting to the win, getting to the accomplishment. Um, just what's your methodology there, right? Well, Ralph and I both had a boss one time, and um, we call her the Michael Jordan of finishing because
Yeah.
she just finished.
Yeah.
Now you may not like all the methods,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But she finished. So how did you, because you don't get to where you don't get the accolades and just all the wonderful things that have been said about you on finishing
Mhm.
and the human being that you are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How did you balance, right? I'll just call it the Michael Jordan mentality,
Mhm.
right? With, I don't know, who's someone considered as a nice, kind ball player, right? Most people play with Mike, they say, "Man, I hated playing with that guy." We got 6 rings, but man, it was torture.
Oh my god. You know, so I believe in writing my vision down.
Mm,
Mm.
So to getting to the end goal had to be in that vision. So I wrote everything down. Like I wrote plans. I still do. When I retire, I will tell you, I wrote the plan for how I'm going to like navigate not having anything to do during the day.
mm,
Like I wrote a plan
Mm.
like, okay, on Monday I'm gonna go to the library. On Tuesday I'm gonna go to the museum. I'm gonna get a dog. I
mhm,
literally wrote the plan down and my boss before I left, he was just looking at my thing and I was telling him I wrote the plan and I had a whole plan for the first 2 months out of retirement. I've always written down where I'm trying to get to.
mm,
Mm.
That's a plan. You write the plan down and you follow the strategy. And then you let the human side of you navigate the
mm,
relationship.
mm,
But the
mm.
Mm.
plan is written. I know
Yeah,
where I got to go.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
And I
good.
got to be in relationship with you to get there. I'm a collaborator. I'm a coalition builder. The one thing that I've been blessed to be all my life is a coalition builder. I know how to build coalitions and relationships, but I also am a strategist and a planner.
Mhm,
And so I always wrote it down.
mhm,
I will
mm.
write
Mm.
down for the rest of my life, write the vision and make it plain so it
Yes,
don't play for
Mm.
y'all.
yes, yes, that's good.
That's what I always practice that every day in every way, no matter what I'm doing. I always practice that. Even in my retirement, practice that.
Mm, mm,
Mm.
mm.
That'll
Can
help
I
me
ask you
get there.
I'm sorry.
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask you a question about something Terry touched on? So he talked about being a strong finisher, a strong executor, right?
Mhm.
You don't make it to places that you've made it to without being a strong executor.
Yeah.
But in Terry's example, like with Michael Jordan, they did used to say, "I hated playing with the guy," you know. So there's something to be said
Some people
about being.
hated playing with me. Believe me, I had some doctors who woo! Ooh, I had some doctors who would be mad at me. In the end,
Hmm.
we were fine, but
Hmm.
boy, on the way, some of them
Hmm.
were mad at me.
Mm. How did you navigate being a strong executor, but at the same time maintaining healthy relationships?
I knew where I needed to get to. I
Mm,
knew the goal that we had to get to. And look, I was a pediatric nurse when I first started my career. We had to get those babies shots,
mhm,
and it hurt and they cried,
mhm,
but they were
Mm.
better after.
mm.
And
Mm.
that is how I always thought about it.
Got it. Got it.
Mm. This
You
gonna
might
hurt
not
now,
like it.
but you
It might be painful,
Yeah.
but when we get to the end, we're gonna all be okay.
Yeah.
I kept that in my head.
That's good. That's good. That is good.
Wow.
Wow.
And the other
Wow.
thing I kept is, look, I'm not trying to make you mad for the sake of making you mad. You
Mhm,
might get
Mm.
mad about the process and what we have to do. I get that. But when we get there, we're going to both be pleased. It might change how you're doing it now, change what you're doing, upset the apple cart for a little bit. But when we get there, it's going to be better for all. And so that was the premise for me. I knew my intentions were never to hurt people,
mhm,
never my intentions to hurt people.
mhm,
And because of that, the pain that we went through
mhm,
getting there was just something we had to go through to get there. It doesn't mean it wasn't painful for me too.
mhm,
Because having you
mhm.
Sure.
be mad at me was painful for me, but oh well. We'll
Yeah.
be better in the backside.
Yeah. 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 Without hearing that, there's always a price to pay to
There's always a
execute it.
price to pay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Thank you for
That's
that.
another part that you just can't be afraid of. It will listen, I would tell people you can say almost everything you want to say. Just how you say it is what matters.
Mm,
Like you can't just like I was skilled at um telling people what I thought and them getting it, but not saying it with a rough tone.
mm.
Mm.
Oh, yes. That's so good.
I don't have to, like,
So,
break you down
Mhm.
to get to have you understand what I'm saying to you,
Mm.
but I have to make sure you understand what I'm saying to you even when you made me mad.
That's so good.
I don't have
so
to break you down, I'm
Right.
not trying to do that.
right.
My intentions is not to hurt anybody.
Mhm. That's
That
good.
So
and if
Brenda,
you know
how
that
much? Mhm.
yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
was
I'm
just gonna
sorry.
say, if you know that in your heart,
Mhm.
then people know it too, even if they get hurt. They know that's not your intention because, again, it's your consistency. You're not trying to hurt people.
Mm.
So Brenda, on that, how much would you say of your, and I'm gonna dig a little bit here, of your core of who you are as a person, your upbringing, your parents. We haven't hit on that, right? Because people
Yeah.
have to say, who are her parents?
Yes.
Right? How
Yeah.
would you say that foundation?
Oh,
Because I'm honestly, when I'm hearing you, I got so many thoughts that are going on. I'm like,
you
I know
see
where that
my
came from.
daddy. I
I
learned it. I
exactly because
know it.
I'll be running through the church and he wouldn't yell at you like the deacons.
No,
He,
no,
I'm running. I'm full speed, bro. Uh, it just
no.
I see it and hear it. So just kind of
Yeah.
maybe dig into that a little
Listen,
bit.
my father, your mother, all these folks are great clouds of witnesses. They showed us how to behave. And I'm gonna tell you, I learned so much from them in this environment. I saw my father, this gentle giant who was
Mm,
strong as he could be, handle people in relationship in such a way that made everybody know how important they were and everybody feel good about themselves even if they were in trouble. I learned that by watching him. I would ask my father as I grew up in as I s progressed in my career, I would ask him questions about it. Now my father he was a pastor, he had some businesses early on, but he wasn't this educated man, but I would ask him because I wanted the perspective from him as a man of God on how to navigate things. And I'm so proud. I remember the day when I realized that I navigate the way he navigated.
mm.
That
That's
was a
beautiful.
blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I told Ralph this story, Brenda, and then this is my last down the memory lane story. I said I remember the first time I really met Brenda when I came into acknowledgement.
Mm,
I think I know that person, and so I I was a late bloomer, right? I got into this group called Inroads. It was for
mhm.
kids who
Yes.
achieved. And I said, Ralph, I said, I don't remember if I was voluntold, but I found myself doing an impromptu speech.
Yes.
That was the first time I met Brenda. I think I was a freshman in college.
We knew from whence you came.
Yes.
Yes.
And that moment for me, and I'm glad that moment happened because although I'd been in the group for a little while, that was the moment I realized I can do this.
Yes.
Right, again, everyone in this group, they were achievers from the beginning. I didn't honestly, I just wanted to play baseball for a living, right? Grades, I gotta make grades just so I can play baseball. But being in that group and then that moment, speaking and seeing how folks responded and
Yeah.
the questions I received, I realized there's no difference between them and me other than application.
There we go.
I just need to apply myself.
There we go.
And that started for me again, little did I know, some gosh, when was that? That was 94, 95. Some
Yeah.
30 years later,
Yeah.
you'd be such a major part of my life. I had no idea I would be in healthcare, right? I
Right.
had no idea
Yep.
I'd be leading my own healthcare IT company now. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Awesome.
But I thank you for again being in a position because you were giving then, right? We
Yes.
were we were all college students, high school students,
Yeah.
and so your work was happening
Yes.
then.
And it hadn't
I don't
even
know how.
been put together in my head that all of this was stacking up. it just all stacked up. Yeah,
Wow.
it's awesome. I love that.
It is. It is. So with that being said, how can our listeners begin stepping into their next this week? What would you say to start to get to
Yeah,
your next level? What
yeah,
would you encourage them to do to something they can do anecdotally to
yeah.
start today?
So, my last story to get to your answer. I was talking to a young man yesterday who lived in Chicago, went to school in Chicago. We met him somewhere. He came to church with us and we just developed a relationship. He graduated. He went to Tulsa, got a job, came in kind of as a project manager role, and now is a director. And he had to do an individual development plan. And he reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you just out of the blue? I haven't talked to him in over a year." He says, "Would you read my individual development plan?" And so I read it and we went through it. And yesterday we were talking and he said, "Look, I always desired to move up in my career, and I'd be in the rooms, and I wouldn't speak up. I wouldn't say anything. And then occasionally I was sitting and I was talking to the VP of strategy and said I wanted to elevate. This was a year or so ago before he became a director. I wanted to get elevated to this role." And she said, "You're going to have to be able to answer the question of where you want to be in 3 years or where you're going to be in 5 years." He says, and so I wrote it down.
Mm.
Mm.
My advice would be for someone who wants to move to the next level, write your vision about the next level down. You're going to need to know what it
Mm.
is you want to do. And if you don't know, start up some conversations with people to see what some of the options are. But
Mhm.
you're going to have to be able to, with clarity,
Mhm.
say what you want to do and what you want to be and what that next level is. So start working on it.
Awesome.
Write it down.
Awesome. Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you
This
so
was so
much.
fun.
Yes.
It was
Yes,
so
yes.
worth the makeup.
Yes. 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 And I will say you look astonishing. You look great.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're
Yes.
It's so
you're
good to
so
see you
sweet.
again. So
Yes.
good
Same
to see you
here.
again. And Brenda, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I love you much, man.
Love you
I'll let
much.
Shamika know you said hello.
Please
And
tell I love
man,
her.
thank you. Yeah, I was talked about it all morning. She was like, I know
Thank
you
you
excited. I was
guys
like,
for
I am.
doing this. This is so important,
Mhm.
what you're doing. This is God-inspired work.
Mhm.
Keep it
Mm.
up. I mean, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership Sovereignty Podcast. If today's conversation helped you grow in your leadership, influence, or your career, take a moment to visit leadershipsovereignty.com. There you'll find exclusive resources, free guides, and ways to stay connected to our community of leaders who are building purpose and success. Don't forget to rate, review, and share this episode with someone who's on the rise in their career. Until next time, lead boldly, lead with purpose, and continue to walk in sovereignty. Take care.